Welcome to Oslo, the capital city of Norway where rich history, natural beauty, and Scandinavian culture come together in perfect harmony. Nestled along the peaceful shores of the Bygdøy Peninsula, surrounded by forests, traditional wooden architecture, and views of the Oslo fjord stands one of the most authentic and immersive cultural museums in Europe, the Norwegian Museum of Cultural History. Known in Norwegian as Norsk Folkemuseum, this museum is not just a building, it is an entire historical world spread across open landscapes and indoor halls, allowing visitors to travel through more than 500 years of Norwegian life and traditions. Norsk Folkemuseum is one of the largest open-air museums in Europe, covering over 140 acres and featuring more than 160 historic buildings that have been carefully moved from villages, towns, and farms across Norway to preserve them for future generations. From medieval wooden stave churches to 19th-century farmhouses with grass-covered roofs and fully reconstructed early 20th-century city streets, the museum showcases how ordinary people in Norway lived, dressed, worked, farmed, celebrated, and built their homes. It brings to life the everyday culture of the country, from the Sami people in the Arctic north to the fishing villages along the rugged western coast, and from rural mountain farms to the urban streets of Old Oslo. Visitors don't just look at history from behind glass, they walk through it. Paths wind through green meadows, birch trees, and traditional wooden buildings. The sound of birds, footsteps on gravel, and the faint scent of pine would make you feel as if you've stepped back in time. Each building tells a story: a farmhouse that sheltered generations, a traditional storehouse for grain, a 1950s apartment filled with vintage furniture, and even workshops where craftsmen once worked with iron, wood, and textiles. Norsk Folkemuseum isn't only about old buildings, it's a living museum. In the summer months, performers in traditional Norwegian clothing demonstrate historical crafts, bake bread over open fires, tend to farm animals like goats and horses, and teach visitors how life used to be before electricity and modern technology. Located just 5 kilometers from downtown Oslo, the museum is easily accessible by bus, car, bike, or even a scenic ferry ride across the fjord during the summer. The Bygdøy Peninsula is also home to other famous Norwegian museums such as the Viking Ship Museum, the Fram Polar Exploration Museum, and the Kon-Tiki Museum, which makes this area one of the most cultural places in all of Norway. So in this video, we're starting our journey at the gateway to Norway's past, a museum that doesn't just preserve history, but allows you to walk through it, touch it, and feel it. Welcome to the Norsk Folkemuseum, the heart of Norway's cultural heritage. The Norwegian Museum of Cultural History, or Norsk Folkemuseum, is located on the scenic Bygdøy Peninsula in Oslo area, famous for its peaceful nature, picturesque views of the Oslo fjord, and concentration of cultural museums like the Viking Ship Museum and Fram Museum. Just 10 to 15 minutes from the city center, it's very easy to reach. The most convenient way is by bus 30, which stops directly at Folkemuseet, right outside the entrance. During summer, visitors can also take a beautiful ferry ride from Oslo City Hall, Pier 3, across the fjord to Bygdøy's Drottningen Pier, followed by a short walk to the museum. You can also arrive by car or taxi, with parking available, or cycle along marked bike paths from the city. As you enter, you're greeted by traditional wooden buildings, gravel paths, pine trees, and wooden signposts pointing to historical farmhouses, the Gol Stave Church, and the Old Town section, instantly transporting you from modern Oslo into centuries of Norwegian history. Founded in 1894, the Norwegian Museum of Cultural History, Norsk Folkemuseum, was created by historian Hans Alp, whose vision was to preserve Norway's disappearing rural traditions, architecture, and everyday life during a time of rapid industrialization and modernization. The foundation of the museum was inspired by an earlier initiative from King Oscar II of Sweden in Norway, in 1881, who established a small collection of historic buildings at Bygdøy, including the famous Gol Stave Church from the 1200s, which is now one of the museum's greatest treasures. In 1901, this expanding collection officially opened to the public at Bygdøy, becoming one of the world's first open-air museums. Over the years, entire wooden houses, barns, farmhouses, workshops, and urban buildings were carefully dismantled from different regions of Norway and reconstructed piece by piece at the museum grounds to accurately preserve historical architecture. Today, it stands as one of Europe's largest and most complete cultural history museums, presenting over 500 years of Norwegian life from medieval times to the 20th century through real homes, artifacts, costumes, and traditions. The open-air museum at Norsk Folkemuseum is the heart of the entire site and one of the largest in Europe, featuring over 160 historic buildings that have been transported from different parts of Norway and rebuilt exactly as they once stood, spread across forests, meadows, gravel roads, and small hilltops. This outdoor museum allows visitors to physically walk through different time periods and landscapes, from rural farm villages with sod-roofed wooden houses, barns, stables, and storehouses, to an entire recreated town street featuring workshops, shops, a post office, and homes from the 18th to 20th centuries. Each building is authentic, often furnished with original interiors such as wooden beds, open fireplaces, hand-carved furniture, old farm tools, and spinning wheels, showcasing how people lived in different regions and social classes. The museum is divided into rural and urban sections, representing areas such as Setúsdal, Osterdalen, Trindelag, and coastal fishing villages, while the Old Town section displays a cobblestone street with early 1900s apartments. Walking through this open-air museum feels like traveling across centuries, where nature, architecture, and history blend together to create a living picture of Norway's past. The Konstelhamburg features a blend of historic and modern architecture that reflects the evolution of art across centuries. The original 19th century red brick building, designed in Renaissance Revival style by architects Georg, Theodor Schirmacher, and Herman von der Hood, showcases grand arches, intricate stonework, and classical elements that symbolize traditional values of art and culture. Attached to it is the 1921 Kuppelsaal Dome Hall, an elegant extension that adds more exhibition space while preserving harmony with the original structure. The most modern section, the Galerie der Gegenwart Gallery of Contemporary Art, opened in 1997 and was designed by architect O.M. Ungers. This minimalist, cube-shaped white building with large glass windows creates a striking contrast to the historic facade and is dedicated to contemporary and modern art. Inside, the museum is structured across three main buildings, connected by wide corridors and open spaces, allowing smooth visitor movement between classical, modern, and contemporary collections. The spacious galleries are using natural and artificial lighting to enhance the viewing of masterpieces while maintaining temperature and humidity control systems too. Preserved delicate artworks. The Konstelhamburg houses one of the most comprehensive art collections in Germany, spanning over 7 centuries from medieval altarpieces to modern and contemporary masterpieces. The museum's collection includes iconic works by European old masters such as Caspar David Friedrich's famous painting Wanderer Above the Sea of Fog, Philip Otto Runes' The Morning, and masterpieces by Rembrandt, Rubens, and Canel. The Renaissance and Baroque sections display religious artworks, historical scenes, and portraits, while the 19th century galleries feature Romanticism, Impressionism, and German Realism, including works by Max Liebermann, Eduard Manet, Claude Monet, and Edgar Degas. The modern art collection highlights Expressionism, Cubism, and Surrealism with artists like Paul Klee, Pablo Picasso, and Vasily Kandinsky. The Galerie der Gegenwart focuses on contemporary art, hosting installations, conceptual works, video art, and pieces by renowned artists such as Andy Warhol, Joseph Beuys, and Gerhard Richter. Sculptures, prints, drawings, and photography are also well represented, making the museum a rich destination for art lovers and historians alike. The Norwegian Museum of Cultural History features an extraordinary collection of traditional Norwegian clothing, folk art, and handmade crafts that reflect regional diversity and centuries-old customs. Visitors can explore beautifully preserved bunads, traditional Norwegian costumes, each representing specific regions such as Telemark, Hardanger, and complete with detailed embroidery, silver jewelry, and handwoven fabrics that tell stories of status, heritage, and celebration. The museum also showcases intricate rosemaling, traditional floral painting, wood carving, woven tapestries, and Sami handicrafts like duaji crafted from leather, wood, and reindeer antlers. These objects are displayed within authentic interiors of rural homes and workshops, allowing visitors to see how everyday life, craftsmanship, and artistry were deeply connected. Seasonal exhibitions often include demonstrations of spinning, weaving, blacksmithing, and traditional woodworking, giving a vivid insight into how ordinary Norwegians created functional yet artistic objects by hand. This section emphasizes the creativity, identity, and craftsmanship that lie at the heart of Norway's cultural heritage. The Norwegian Museum of Cultural History brings history to life through its vibrant seasonal events, festivals, and interactive living history experiences that immerse visitors in Norway's past. Throughout the year, actors dressed in traditional costumes reenact daily life in historic farmhouses, shops, and townhouses, performing tasks such as baking, flatbread, tending animals, or crafting tools using period techniques. Major events include the festive Christmas market, featuring traditional Norwegian holiday foods, handmade crafts, folk music, and horse-drawn sleigh rides. During the summer, the museum hosts midsummer celebrations with maypole dancing, storytelling, and traditional games. Easter, Constitution Day, May 17th, and St. Hans Midsummer Eve are also celebrated with folk dances, choir performances, and workshops for children. Visitors can participate in hands-on activities like candle making, weaving, or old-fashioned school lessons, while storytellers and musicians bring myths, fairy tales, and folk songs to life. These events make the museum a living cultural space where history isn't just observed, it's experienced. felt, and celebrated. Visiting the Norwegian Museum of Cultural History offers a rich and comfortable experience, blending cultural immersion with modern amenities. Upon arrival, guests are greeted by a spacious visitor center that provides maps, guided tour options, audio guides in multiple languages, and detailed information on daily activities and performances. The open-air layout, with over 160 historic buildings spread across a picturesque landscape, encourages leisurely exploration along gravel paths, gardens, and farmyards. Seating areas, picnic spots, and scenic viewpoints are thoughtfully placed throughout the museum grounds. Families can enjoy interactive zones and child-friendly workshops, while stables, farm animals, and period-costumed staff make the experience engaging for children. The museum also features a cozy cafe serving traditional Norwegian food like waffles with jam, hot cocoa, soups, and local pastries, as well as a gift shop offering handmade crafts, books, and souvenirs inspired by Norwegian heritage. Accessibility is prioritized with wheelchair-friendly paths and facilities, clean restrooms, indoor exhibit halls for rainy days, and seasonal transportation options like shuttle buses from Oslo city center make visiting convenient and enjoyable year-round. The Norwegian Museum of Cultural History, Norsk Folkemuseum, stands as one of Norway's most treasured cultural institutions, preserving and showcasing the nation's rich heritage for future generations. As one of Europe's largest open-air museums, it offers a unique window into Norwegian life from medieval times to the modern era through its authentic historic buildings, traditional clothing, folk art, and immersive living history experiences. The museum not only preserves physical artifacts but also protects intangible traditions such as storytelling, music, craftsmanship, and seasonal celebrations that define Norway's identity. Its scenic location on the Bygdøy Peninsula makes it both a cultural and natural gem, attracting visitors from around the world. More than just a museum, it serves as an educational center, a place of inspiration, and a bridge between past and present. By bringing history to life through reenactments, festivals, and hands-on activities, the Norsk Folkemuseum ensures that Norway's cultural legacy remains vibrant, relatable, and accessible to all.